Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again this week. It was a pretty medium week. 5 comics. I got 4 on my pull list. 1 I pulled off the shelf. But first I'll show you my top of the printer comic books. These are the ones I have, my museum top of the printer comic. I put these on the top of my printer over behind this, where this camera is, and just kind of look at them all week. We've got Mr. X number 8, a Dean Motter cover. Which kind of disappears with this in this glare and this light because it's a real dark one. Was a big fan of Mr. X in the 80s. I still like it. I have the hardcover version too, as well as the long out of print hardcover version. I think it came out a decade ago. As well as my individuals issues I still have. Defenders 35, Gil Kane, Mike Esposito with this strange, give me back my regular body guy. There's a lot of body weird stuff in these. I remember, this is one of my favorites as a kid, Steve Gerber written Defenders issues. I think it was he wrote all in the 30s, maybe into the 40s. I can't remember. Can't even remember who drew them. It was like Sal Buscema or somebody. I didn't even open up this issue. But I have fond memories of these Defenders, but I haven't read it since the 80s, so someday I'll have to go back. And boy, did Gil Kane do that, Hulk lurking in the background and reaching really well. I think he did that basic figure with the hands, foreshortened hands coming towards you more than once on these covers. But good stuff. Glad to be looking at those all week. Then we got some comic shop news. It's Batman Spawn. Ooh. Comic shop news does get me excited about comics I'll never get. I'm like, ooh, Batman Spawn, how cool. Even though I don't care about Batman and don't care about Spawn. And even like I said, I still buy that Spawn main book because it's still the last $2.99 book out there. But this one is written by McFarlane, drawn by Capullo. I've always liked Capullo's art. Back when the very first Spawn issues came out, I thought he did a better McFarlane than McFarlane did. Now, of course, he's famous for his Batman. So, good choice to draw Batman Spawn, but not a fan of Todd's writing. Here's lots of other stuff, including these Marvel Disney covers that give me the heebie-jeebies because I'm not a Disney fan. A lot of people have warm, fuzzy feelings from Disney from their childhood. When I was a kid, cynical 9-year-old Jared didn't like Disney because my Disney was like that 1970s Sunday night world of Disney movies that I never liked any of them. And I never liked Disney's whole everything's wonderful and great kind of ad. I found that as... I always thought they were lying to me when I was a kid. I'm like, then everything's not great. You can't convince me of that, Disney. So I've got no love for all the Disney characters and stuff. And I've got more love for the Marvel characters, of course, since I read them as a kid. But I don't like to see them mashed up. Then we've got, let's see, the first comic of our week. We got Junkyard Joe. I liked the first issue of this a lot. But I didn't put it on my pull list. There's Junkyard Joe. I just put it on my... I just ordered issue 2. We'll see how this one goes. Just because the first issue took place in Vietnam. I think this takes place like 20 years later or something like that. And I think they did a really nice job with the Vietnam stuff. I think Gary Frank art had more emotion in it than I've seen from him ever. Ooh, gory. But I don't know, I don't want to be in for the long run if I just liked the first issue and then they changed the whole scene setting and everything. So we'll see how the second issue is. Maybe I'll get a third. Maybe I'll put it on my pull list. Maybe I won't like this, but I'm guessing I'll like it at least a little bit. Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer. What issue are we on here? Issue number 7. Story I've been enjoying. They just took Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer, which I think was only one painting, and gave him a lot of backstory where he was this guy who made a deal with the devil who lived in this helmet, who likes to kill things, and the guy doesn't, and he's torn apart over it. So I guess it's a little Elric-like. But its story is Mitch Iverson. The art is Esau and Isaac Escora. I think they're new to the book. The first story arc was done by someone different, and I liked that. But I've liked this story This is the second part, maybe. There was a done in one in there somewhere, too, that was pretty good. So it's been a solid book. I guess that's just, whoever this is, Opus is just hiring whoever they can to do it. So it's not a creator-owned like most of my other stuff. Then we got a little Shaolin Cowboy. Jeff Darrow, Stewart on the... what was it? Is it Dave Stewart? Opens up right on the inside front cover. We get the story going, and this has just been crazy. Yeah, Dave Stewart. There's our credits in the back. This story has just been nuts. Jeff Darrow's incredibly intricate artwork. The first time I read it through, I read it like a normal comic. The second time I read it through, I use a magnifying glass just so I can pick up all that background stuff that's in there. And the plot is almost inconsequential. The first 3.5 issues, he was fighting in the desert. Now he's fighting in the city. Why is he fighting? Because people are trying to kill him. I don't know. This would look good in an oversized hardcover edition, too. I have one oversized hardcover edition of his from like 2 or 3 series back, so I'd like to see more like that. Then this is the one I pulled off the shelf. Little Wonder Woman 204. Introducing Nubia. I guess that's why they're reprinting this facsimile edition. What's... The art I'm going to show you fell down. Hold on a second. Let me pick that up. This has been falling down all week. I'm going to move some of the... Well, let me just move it over here for now. What's weird about this is DC has done a really good job at archiving their artwork from the beginning. They take stats, store them away, now they scan them in. So that's why DC has like good quality reprints of even its Golden Age stuff. But this one looks like it was scanned right from the comic. Look at all the blotchiness in the line screen there. And that's what happens when you scan from an old comic. You get blotchiness in all, especially the big solid areas of color, like that orange there, you get blotchiness in it. So I don't know what's going on with this particular comic. It's a little weird, but I'll give it a look. Then we've got Orc Island, issue number 3. This is the one you can find my name in. I've been doing the production out. Let me check the spot gloss is good. I indicate where the spot gloss goes. So this has been a good story. Sort of a fantasy story. There they are fighting a weird orc thing. It's about these poor people from the mainland going to Orc Island. There's a main guy, that yellow guy. Going to Orc because orc skulls are worth a fortune. They're trying to get orcs. Of course, the orcs don't want their skulls taken. So weird stuff ensues. And it's been a fun adventure story. Weekly. So this is the 3rd issue. So 1 issue a week has come out. 4th issue comes out next week. Grab Orc Island at a participating comic shop. Oh, where's that thing I want to show you? There you go. Dreams of Things. Issue number 161. Weird one. Very kind of somber. I think those marks I put on her face were like the last thing I put on there, and I think they're the most somber part. I like the way it came out. Some interesting colors in there. Orange and blues and reds and violets. And I've also been working on some Gatsby stuff. You can see that over on my Patreon. I've got a link down below for that. That's going to fall down right there. Right. And the sunlight is wiping out this whole part. It's blowing it right out. There's the afternoon sun's coming through my window. All right. A little bit of artwork, some comics, and you guys have a good week out there.